Hello, what's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. This is Oston back again with another simple tutorial on web development. So, in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how you can create chips using this Materialize CSS framework. As I told you, I'm going to be handling different elements so that in the end, I'll come up with some simple project when it's developed using this framework called Materialize. So, today we are going to be looking at the chips. So chips are used for different purposes depending on what you'll be creating or developing, whether it's web application, website, and the first use for this or purpose of using these chips, you may decide to store contacts in these kind of chips. As you're seeing, you can put the user's profile image here, the name, and maybe also the contact when it's also attached on that chip. So they're used for different purposes. Right now, as I talk, YouTube uses them as the way of storing tags to your specific videos that you upload. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. As you can see, we have already a field that already has initiated chips. In case they are missing, you can add more. Whoa, as you can see. So I also have another area where it shows you first the placeholder telling you what you're supposed to put there. Let's say add video tags the way YouTube does it. Then I can add like HTML, CSS, and we get that secondary placeholder in place. So this is what I'm going to be showing you in this simple tutorial. As you can see, very simple. Then I also have another field here. It is for autocomplete chips. So maybe you are trying to put a tag that is already stored somewhere, let's say in the database, and you try to type, it has this data list autocomplete. You can search for different keywords. When I put O, they bring suggestions with every word that has the letter O in it. So guys, stick around if you want to see how this is also done on different websites. So you can store tags on your web page, display tags to the users depending on a certain article that you have posted, and they will be displayed to the user. So that's what I'm going to be showing you in this tutorial. Stick around and we get started. When I refresh, we're going to be left with nothing because we are going to be working together on the same project. So what you need to be having, I have just imported this link. It is responsible for the other cross buttons, the X's you saw. I don't have them on my PC, but in case you do, you don't need this file. But I'm going to leave all the links in case you're new to this framework and new to my channel in the description below so that you follow up and start working with this amazing framework. So what I'm having is just a simple markup for HTML. It's having the CSS link, this icon link, and the JavaScript link. So as you can see, you are getting access to these framework files. Very simple. Then I have a simple container there. There's nothing big, it just leaves some equal space on the left hand side and the right hand side. So what I'm first going to do is put some H2 or H3, and I say chips. You forgive me for the noise in the background. So we're having that simple heading. So I'm first going to show you how you can create the contact chips. Contact chips. Let me tap this so that we get some organized work. Then for the contact chips, what we need to do is just write a div there and give it a class of chip. Then inside this chip, you put the link to the profile image. So we put the image tag, then we specify the source attribute. My images are inside the folder called cards, and inside there I have something called lionug.jpg. And let's say down here you put the user's name inside the strong tag, let's say team. That's my name. Then let's refresh and you'll be seeing a simple contact chip here. But what we are missing now, it's the cross button or icon. So what we are going to do is come right after this, the image. You can put it after the name anywhere you want. So we're going to put the icon tag, which is I. Then here we shall say material. This is how you put the materialize icons. Material dash icons, and we want the cross icon. If refresh here, we are going to be having some huge large, or we need to place this here below the name. Sorry for that. So we need to place it here. As you saw at first, it was some big icon. Now what we are going to do is just add another class here called close. Refresh, and we are having a nice chip, contact chip. So I can click it and it goes away, but it won't go away unless you put a real working function behind the scene that will be dismissing all these. So I'm just going to carry this. You'll forgive me for the noise in the background. Then I also have another pic called Uganda. Yes, I'm just going to put another name. Again, my name Oston. So refresh, and that's what we are having. So you can store contacts in this simple chip as you have seen here. So that's the first way you can work with these chips. Let's say you are having a blog website and you want to display some tags to the users. As always, still you just, let's not overcopy everything because I want to take you step by step. So you can just create another div, let's say in that specific area where you're going to be looping out the tags to the user, but make sure you don't give them the close button because they are just on the front end. This one is supposed to be shown to a specific user who is using that web application or website. If the user is logged in, then you show these close buttons, but still you can put them, nothing will be happening to your website if at all you didn't put that function that deletes these chips. So you can just place a div there, give it a class of chip, and you come here, then just put the word, let's say HTML, and it will be displayed so the user will be seeing the different tags you used on that article. So that's it for the first phase. I've shown you how you can create these contact chips where you can display the user's contacts. So secondly, then I'm going to show you the input fields. Let's put some H3 again, heading, H3, input fields, let's say inputs and tags. Refresh, and that's what we are having. So below here, to create that, the other fields you saw where the user will type in his or her own, the way YouTube does it, our own tags. So we're just going to come here and we first put the div, and we are going to give it a class of chips. You'll see some border there, but right now, even if we focus there, nothing happens. So we need to initiate it in our JavaScript. So we come here and we create our custom scripts. And what we have to do, not having to do. So what we have to do is create a variable, a constant. So I'm going to call it tags, and I'm going to assign it to document. Let me put it in the middle there. Dot query selector, query selector, query selector all, because we need it to apply to all elements that are having that class of chips. So all, and we are targeting the element with this class of chips. Then we end that statement. Then we initialize it using the materialize syntax. We say m dot chips, C is in uppercase, dot init, we are initializing it, and we call the variable we created, which is tags, which will be followed by options inside. Let's save that and preview it in the browser. As you can see now, we can focus in this field. So I can write anything I want and press enter. Very, very simple. Now what we want to do is create an input that will be having already populated tags in it. So what we are going to do, I'm twisting my tongue. Then we are going to press enter. So as I told you, this is an object full of options. So we are going to populate it with some default data, which is going to be an array with, again, options. And we are going to say the first option will be, we say tag. Then the first option, I'm going to be putting my schools I went to, Royal College. So let's refresh and save that. As you can see, now we are having Royal College automatically put in that input field. In case you want visitors to come and see already entered tags, the one you stored. So I'm going to go again and put a comma here, put another object or option, which is still again a tag. And I'm going to put YMCA University. Hope I spelled it wrong. University, yes. As you can see, now that's the first way we can populate our tags that we want to display to the user before them coming to the page. So that's the first way of handling that. Then let's create another field that will be displaying some placeholder to the user the way YouTube does it on its application, which is YouTube. So I'm just going to come here. We add another div and give it a class of chips. Then I'm going to create my custom class, which is chips dash, let's say, placeholder. You get? So right again here, right after this option, I guess this is the first option. Then I'm going to create another variable, const, and I say tags holder. So the variables are user defined. You can create anything you want, name it anything you want. So say document.query selector all, and I want to target the element with a class of chips placeholder. So put a semicolon there. I initialize it using m.chips, C is uppercase. I said we initialize it. Then we call the name of the variable we created here, and it is followed by an object full of options. So the first option inside here will be, shall put placeholder, and this is what we want the user to be seeing. So I will say enter video tags. Refresh that and preview it in the browser. This is what you're seeing. So I can come here and I say HTML, CSS, but we are still seeing the same placeholder. We don't want this to happen. So what you're going to do is put a comma here, and we say secondary placeholder. So P is in uppercase, and we're just going to say plus. So this is some text you want to display to the user. You can say plus, add more, and say add more, refresh the page. You can put HTML as we did. As you can see, now we are having add more, not again enter video tags. You can say Java, CSS, Oh, so we can again dismiss these tags that you're seeing. So this is how YouTube does it. Just that we are not working any back end language right now. We are just designing the interface. So lastly, then I'm going to show you the autocomplete feature on how you can display. Let's say somebody's comes on your page or is already in your web application and is trying to type HTML and want to display the different kind of keywords or tags that have already been stored there. Let's say in the cookie or session, anything like that. So again, forgive me, I liked in there. I was still doing something. So what we are going to do is create another div here. You're going to create another div here and store it. Sorry, don't store it. Put it here. And as always, I'm just going to be creating my own custom class. I'm going to call it complete autocomplete. You forgive me for the noise in the background. And then I'm going to create another variable const, and I'm going to call it tag auto. So autocomplete, as I told you, variables are user defined. So I'm going to say document dot query selector all, and I want to target the element with the class of chips autocomplete. Then I initialize it, so it's becoming a song. You can see how this framework is very easy. So chips dot init, we initialize it, and here we are going to pass in the variable we created. We put a comma which is followed by an object full of options. So I'm going to scroll up again. Now inside here we have what they call the auto complete options. So this the option they have, autocomplete option, which is also having objects inside it, and the objects inside it we also have another data option that is also having the objects that are going to be displayed to the user. So here we can put, let's say, YouTube. So this is the data that is going to be displayed to the user. We set it to null. We are passing in nothing. Let's say Facebook, and it's going to be set to null. Let's say Twitter. So these values can be picked from the database, but we are now just designing the interface. I guess that's enough. Then we come here, put a comma, and we set the limit. So the limit will be infinity. The user can see a lot of data. So the mean length, I will show you what it does. And we say 1. Let's save this and preview it in the browser. We're having another field. So hopefully when we type in, let's say F, oh, we're having some problem. Autocomplete options. I guess options, not option. Let's refresh that. And if we put F, yes, now the autocomplete feature is working. It was supposed to be options. So for the mean length, it depends on how many characters the user has entered in here. So right now we are testing for 1. In case somebody puts in the first letter, let's say F, they show the suggestion. But in case we want the user to first put in 2 characters for us to display the. Now let's, as you can see, if I put F, nothing's displayed. Whoa, have I saved this? Let's refresh. I put F. I guess it's somehow broken, but that's it, guys. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it on different social medias, and I'll be seeing you in the next tutorial.